What laws in New Zealand were changed because of the movies?
Now, given that I wasn't an adult at the time, I think I was like 12, 14, 16 when the movies came out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember exactly, but it was some employment laws. Around, like, I'm pretty sure it was dubbed. There you go, ask Mickey.
Employment laws that allowed them to treat people a bit more shit. Well, it kind of makes sense, considering while they're filming on location, they can't accommodate things quite in the normal way, especially if they're trying to respect the environmental protection laws that are there in New Zealand. I know you've got fairly stringent protection against ecological damage and whatnot, probably especially for visiting movie crews and things like that that have a bad reputation for not respecting the environment of the areas that they're visiting.
Is your girlfriend's her name actually Silver? Out of curiosity.
No. That's just what she goes by.
Alright.
That's fine. Silver's a nickname anyway. It comes from when she was driving bus. She had the Silver Bee, and so her nickname, like her call sign for the bus, was Silver Bee.
Yeah.
And so that nickname just kind of stuck with her, even though that was, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Mum ended up cooking a Japanese stir fry. No. I think she called it a stir fry.
It could have been Japanese if
I
it
don't
was
know.
yakiniku style.
She said it was Japanese. She went round to her friends earlier this week and had it there. And had it there, and then she did the shopping today, so she must have bought it then. She'll often go to the shop with some sort of ideas of what she's going to cook for the week, and then, whatever floats your boat, she'll. We've got a lot of packet, like,
We've got a lot of packet.
like. I don't want to say packet meals because that's not what they are, but they're like the sauces you use to make, butter chicken or
The
that sort of thing.
prepackaged sauce, not a prepackaged meal in its entirety.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
Okay. Makes a huge difference. So yeah, I understand why you're trying to finagle the distinction.
yeah. So, like all our meals really are freshly homemade, but that doesn't mean that all of everything was done at home.
Yeah, you buy the sauce or whatever just because it's who necessarily has the time to spend 3 hours making the sauce.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the stuff she started using while she was working, because when you're working, who has that time, that sort of time to
Completely agree.
make, take 3 hours to make a sauce. We still some things we have at home, like we still do now, even though she's not working. She started doing because it was so much easier to do than, like, we've got she'll make up. She'll buy like 4 kilos of mince and cook up mince. And
You're talking about minced like meat?
yeah. So beef mince, she'll cook up.
Oh yeah.
Like 4
Yes.
kilos and
Yeah, so she can mass prepare some of these things.
yeah, which she finds a whole lot easier than having
Well, as Mickey's pointing out,
cook
it
overnight.
takes a
Yeah,
lot of energy to do the cooking. So if you have the energy to do some cooking, it makes sense to just do as much in one batch as you can, because then
yeah, exactly.
you've got one batch of dishes clean up, one batch of babysitting the stew, the sauce, the whatever. All these
Yeah,
these time and energy intensive things. You've got one round of that to do instead of having to do it multi times over and over.
yeah,
I can totally see the value in doing a bulk thing like that. For someone like me that does burgers on the barbecue a lot, it takes more time than energy, so it's not a big deal to do on a regular basis unless I'm pressed for time.
mm,
And I particularly appreciate the fresh burger versus a rewarming one from yesterday kind of thing.
yeah.
I feel bad stuffing my face while I'm on camera.
I really, really wish that Mum and Dad would just have takeout or something once a week, as opposed to healthy, totally fresh
Mm-hmm.
food every single fucking night. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the fresh food, but you just
Indulge once in a while,
yeah,
We used to make a habit of going somewhere for a sit-down restaurant meal at least once a month, and that
yeah,
made it so much easier to go without the little convenience of grabbing McDonald's on the way home, grabbing a thing of fries because you felt like having something salty and greasy. It made it
yeah,
so much easier to dodge that temptation because you're like, oh well, whatever. I'm only a week away from our planned excursion to Montana's or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
They've done numerous studies on it, and having regularly scheduled indulgence makes you more likely to resist other bad influences. Like if you resist eating junk at work all day, on your way home, you're more likely to grab something that's shit as opposed to
Yeah,
resist that temptation as you drive by the Starbucks where you can get a $9 cup of sugar, or the McDonald's where you can get the fries or whatever. If you've had to resist temptation all day, you're way more likely to give into it later on.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas if you've had that little indulgence somewhere along the way, it galvanizes you against temptation for quite a sizable time period.
yeah. But of course, my parents don't look at that sort of thing.
Well, no, it's there are only dozens of studies conducted by hundreds of scientists from dozens of countries around the world. They wouldn't know anything about this stuff. It's just their area of expertise.
Yeah, and
Wow.
like getting my parents to actually understand that sort of thing is one of the hardest things.
So frustrating.
Yeah, like, and I was having this conversation with Mum today. Like, she wants me to exercise, but when I get home from doing my morning clients, I'm absolutely had it, so I'll often go and have a nap.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, I've often got all my American friends streaming. So I don't really want to go and exercise then because, hang out with friends. But so that means I don't really go exercise. Well, if I had, like an exercise bike or something, because often I'm just sitting in the channel watching.
Yeah, you could have your headset on and listen while you're doing 20 minutes on the bike.
Yeah. But no, I literally had this conversation with Mum today. She's not going to get me, she's not even going to entertain the idea because I've proven time and time again that it's not going to work. Supposedly.
Oh, so she'd had a bad experience somewhere along the way with getting you
Me,
a gym
yeah,
membership or something, and it didn't
yeah.
it didn't
Or several.
take.
Yeah. And I mean, she does. She's trying to get me to tidy my room. And there's some stuff in I know my room's a mess. There's some stuff in my room that if I had someone just to sit with me and help me make the decisions,
Yeah, it would make it
I'd,
easier.
yeah. But she does, not understanding that she's like, no, no, you've got to do it all yourself.
It's one thing to say, it's important that you learn independence and, encourage that sort of thing. It's another to actively deny someone's request for help. If someone's asking you for help, fucking give it to them.
Mm. I've said to them before that they don't anything. If I have any physical issues, oh yes, we'll help with that. We'll help with you losing weight. We'll help with you, whatever. But as soon as it becomes a mental health issue, no, you can do that on your own.
Well, yeah, it's not visible. That's the problem with mental health issues, is they're invisible.
Yeah.
What? I have blimp pathways? How did I not know about this? Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you there.
No. I was at the end of my pedestal.
Yeah, and from your parents' perspective, it's the girl who cried wolf over and over. Oh well, she's asking for help, but she's not actually doing anything for herself.
Mm. And as a consequence, I'm trapped in a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's not always a thing that you can get out of. It's just this unending
Yeah.
loop. No, I get where you're coming from. If mental health issues were to manifest in some physical way, your skin changed color when you were having some sort of mental distress, it would make it so much easier for people to understand.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing a thing? Well, because right now I'm busy just fucking functioning. It's literally taking all of my effort to just get dressed, have a shower, do basic self-care. So when I'm feeling better, I'll get back to you.
Mm.
Hey.
Hey, Chibbles.
Hello.
And next week, I'm taking off. Not to, off work, not to go anywhere, just to mentally have a break from having to get up at
Yeah.
whatever time and
Early mornings are shitty to deal with anyway.
yeah. But no. Like, and I said to Mum, look, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is sleeping in. Mum's like, you spend most of your time in bed. Try being depressed. Then you'll understand.
Yeah, there's some things that are generational, right? There's some things that just they don't understand because they're from the generation where mental health issues didn't exist. If you had a mental
Mm.
health issue, you were in an asylum. You were in a facility.
Mm.
And that's a totally different kind of mental health issue, but that's the era that they grew up in. Same as for me with my parents. Just on Monday there, when I was trying to explain to my mom about casual racism not being okay.
Mm.
I don't
Oh
know.
boy.
Were you here when I was talking about that with Chevy?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, it's a real simple concept. If what you're saying is representing an entire population with one sentence, don't fucking say it. It's probably not appropriate. But that's the generation
We'll
they
go
grew.
say,
That's the generation they
we'll
grew
go
up in.
say it in, we'll go say it in a neighbourhood that is, that population lives in.
Well, she says
You're,
stuff. She says stuff all the time like this, and I try to explain to her that it's just not fucking okay. Like, I get where you're coming from. You're coming from a different generation entirely. That doesn't make it okay anymore. It stopped being okay 20 or 30 years ago. It
yeah,
never was
yeah,
truly okay, obviously, but it stopped being socially
yeah,
accepted 20 or 30 years ago. And there's a difference between people being oversensitive and
yeah.
people being racist and shitty. And I'm trying to help you not fall on the wrong side of this line, but you gotta want to not be one of those people, and I'm not getting that fucking impression, which is really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Well, here's kind of where I wanted to jump in, Aroha. Like, you talk about your parents and stuff. My mom, she's always like, "Oh, well, you and the wife should eat smaller meals and so on and so forth." And then we go over there on Fridays, and she orders like 2 extra large pizzas and sends me home with like half a pizza.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you ever raised that issue with her? Said, like, how am I meant to eat a smaller meal if you're sending literally all the leftovers home with me?
Actually, the last Friday we were over, she was putting everything together. I'm like, "No, I can't do that anymore."
And what'd she say?
And I just walked it. We walked out without taking anything home, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Like, I guess Jim's gonna have to eat it, but I guess she got it. I don't know. So,
Well, good for you, man. You're the one who's got to live in that body. You gotta start treating it like you want it to last.
but I think I really surprised her and Steph when I'm like, "Nope, that's not coming home with us."
Yeah, well, I mean, it's quick, easy, convenient, and so it's a habit that's easy to fall into. I can totally understand how they would expect. Oh well, whatever. It's more quick, easy meals. No, it's what it is a quick, easy grave. It's not good for you. Like
And
anything in moderation, but after a point, you've got to stop doing that.
and I hate to say it, the place that we get the pizza from is really, really salty.
Yeah, so that's another thing you don't need a shit ton of extra salt for nothing. I'm one to talk. I mean, I'm sitting here eating the McDonald's fries and like just love them.
But at a certain point in your life, there's decisions that you just have to sort of make.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying to make them, but
I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you. I'm not
I know,
referring to you.
I'm not. I'm not suggesting you are, Chibbles.
no, it's one of those
I'm
things.
more
Take the bull
referring
by the horns,
to
and
myself
yep, take the bull by the
in
horns, kind of thing.
in regards to getting out of the hospital, and like I said to the wife, like I said to my mom, different changes have to be made.
Yeah, you guys want me to be around next week? Then this week I'm not eating crap. Yeah, too much salt and it just turns you off, Nick.
I've got a friend who's got a disease called Meniere's disease, which means she can't have pretty much any salt at all.
Yeah.
And when she got diagnosed, it meant a complete overhaul of her diet.
Well, that's just it, right? Like excess of a thing tends to lead to oversensitivity and intolerance of that thing. So
No, it was. I don't think it was particularly an excess of it, but yeah, she developed this disease.
Yeah, having too much of anything isn't good for you. You know, whether it's ketchup or carbs. You know, all things in moderation.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I went back for seconds of dinner today, and Mum complained because I went back for seconds of dinner. But then we won't have enough food for tomorrow.
You're going back for seconds of her cooking. Healthy stir fry. I mean, it doesn't get much healthier than that, and she's complaining.
Was it off a skillet?
Sorry?
Was it off a skillet?
It was no. It was a soupy.
In water.
Yeah. Like everything gets fried up, but she, knowing my mum, she would have used precious little
salt or oil.
It was
oil
a preference.
Ah, yes, of course.
Now that I know.
Yes, Chibbles, you know.
Yeah, it's just like sugar, Mick. That if you start looking at labels on things, there's so much sugar and so many things that don't need it.
Oh, don't read labels.
Oh, fuck that! Are you kidding? I had the worst trouble with my stomach for years, and I couldn't figure out what the cause was until I started reading the label on Kraft ketchup, Kraft peanut butter, and it had more goddamn chemicals in there than actual ingredients. And I said, you know what? I'm not eating this peanut butter anymore. I'm done with it. And my parents were like, well, what are we going to do with this jar of peanut butter? I said, I don't care. Feed it to the dog. Throw it in the garbage. I'm not eating it. I think this is what's causing my problem. And I switched over. They still swore by their Kraft peanut butter. And so I switched over when I moved out to the Simple Check stuff from Superstore that has like 10 ingredients or less, and you can pronounce all of them. So it's peanuts, icing sugar, salt. Done.
Well, and peanuts are one of the first 4 ingredients.
Well, there's only like 4 ingredients. There's peanuts, icing sugar, salt, and there might have been something else. I can't remember. But it didn't even have a thing to keep the oil from separating. It said, this peanut butter will separate if it's sat on the shelf for a while, so you have to stir the oil back in. I'm like, perfect. Then I know I'm not getting a bunch of chemicals and shit. And I have had no problems eating the fuck ton of peanut butter that I do ever since I switched off of the Kraft stuff that was full of chemicals. It makes such a difference getting rid of all that unknown chemical crap and things.
That's why my peanut butter is imported.
You just like being able to say that your peanut butter is imported.
No, actually, I really like the peanut butter.
I know.
My parents go to a shop where they know exactly what goes into their peanut butter because they have they grind the peanuts themselves at the shop they go to for it.
Yeah.
So they you say what's in your peanut butter. They literally do.
I think oil emulsifiers are probably a bad idea because it just, if I understand how they work correctly, it just basically breaks down the oil into smaller molecules so that they suspend better with non-oil material, which also means that it's more readily absorbed and handled by the body. So oil emulsifiers effectively mean your body's able to pick up more of the oil I could be wrong. I'm not 100% certain on oil emulsifiers, but I think that's
I'm
essentially.
pretty sure. I'm sure that's works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's how it
That
basically
sounds
works. Is it breaks it down into small enough particles, and then boom, it's in your system now.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna get rid of tail end of Jackson Street here, and we're gonna move this park. Playground, fucker. Playground. Let's put you
We're
up there.
talking about all this shit while I'm drinking some Coke Zero. Oh, Coke no sugar.
Well, I mean, drinking a little bit of Coke now and then isn't the end of the world. If you drink nothing but, you're going to have far more than your daily allotment of sugar intake. If you drink, excessive amounts of it over the course of a day, in addition to eating and drinking other stuff, you're still going to end up with an excessive amount of sugar. So, drinking the stuff with no sugar is a step in the right direction, at least. Although the chemicals and stuff in the artificially sweetened ones, like aspartame and that, I find give me wicked migraines. So I can't imagine they're much better for you than the sugar in the long run.
I don't know. The no sugar stuff might almost be worse than the actual sugar, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to know what that stuff is doing, because it's, in some cases the chemicals are too bloody new.
Yeah. However, I like it, and it's. I try and have the no sugar, so I'm not having as much sugary shit. So.
Yeah, that's my feeling, Mickey, is that the aspartame is probably worse for you than the sugar. There was some studies that I read way long ago when I was a kid that had suggested that
It's aspartame is terrible.
well, the studies that I had seen when I was a kid, and I pointed out to my mom, were showing that, like, lab rats, lab mice, whatever, that had been given doses of aspartame, large doses of aspartame, showed major reproductive failures and malfunctions, higher incident of birth defects and miscarriages and stillbirths and this kind of shit. And, I mean, at the time that I'm pointing it out to my mom, it was after the point where she wanted kids, so it obviously is a huge concern. But if it's doing that to one part of your body, there's every possibility it's doing harm to other parts of your body. And that was kind of what I was trying to make the point of, is that these rats were being given...
Yeah.
They were being given something like...
Well, it's raking the rest of your body coals.
Yeah. These rats were being given something like 20 times the quantity that is recommended for a human in the course of a day. And in their short little lives, it was wreaking this kind of havoc with them. So, assuming we live and consume the safe quantity for 20 times longer, because, rats and mice only live anywhere from 6 months to a couple of years, you're going to get that much in your diet eventually. And it also appears to be more addictive than sugar. Yeah, that was another study that came up much later. People seem to crave the diet sodas more than the standard sodas because of the chemical dependency on some of these artificial sweeteners. Yeah, being told something is healthy will often create
A vicious loop.
a psychological tendency for
Dependence. Yeah, or dependence.
it, or outright dependence. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In saying that, having the diet sodas as a alternative is good, especially for like people with diabetes or people who are worried about getting diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to drink the diet sodas, even though my mom's diabetic. I'm not going to drink the diet sodas to avoid becoming diabetic. I'll control the other sugars that I have, and I'll drink my Coke with sugar, because at least there it's, I know what it's doing to my body. I've got to brush my teeth,
Yeah.
and I've got to have less sugars elsewhere. Okay, I can
Yeah.
manage this. Aspartame, it's too much of an unknown. I don't in any way feel that it's it's a safe thing to be put in your body. And even if I did feel that way, it gives me wicked migraines. So I'm not really in a position to drink or eat stuff with it. Hell, even white chocolate contains something. I'm not sure if it's aspartame or whatever, but white chocolate gives me brutal fucking headaches too.
Yeah, whereas I don't get that from the.
Oh,
From
but white
aspartame,
chocolate,
so.
so good though.
Ugh.
I had white chocolate.
If I had a choice between white chocolate and starvation, I would go with starvation because at least that doesn't make my fucking head explode. I don't know what is in it that wrecks my head, but it just gives me the most brutal headaches and migraines. In pretty much the same places as aspartame, but that could be just because I have chemical receptors that are sensitive to both. I don't know that there's anything similar between one and the other.
It's hard to say what the correlation is.
Yeah, I mean it could be there's latex mimicking compounds in what was it? In soy, I think it is. And so people with a latex sensitivity can have reactions to soy, or it might not be soy. I feel like I'm getting that part wrong. But these latex mimicking compounds are similar enough that they'll trigger allergies in people who are sensitive to latex. So if you can't wear rubber gloves that have latex in them, you also can't eat the food that has these latex mimicking compounds. What the hell was it that had latex mimicking compounds? I don't think it was soy. Avocado is one of the things that's listed as having latex similarity that would trigger a reaction. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I didn't think it was soy. That sounded wrong when I said it. Alright, how is our fire protection? Our fire protection is terrible. Thanks for asking. Let's put it there. Now, does that bridge the gap? I can get rid of the power lines. Now I've got redundancy, so if I cut one or the other line, it's not going to completely cut off one of these areas. There's our crime rate. Pretty low, actually. That one's down to 20%. That one's completely full. Alright, you know what?
Well, my charcoal and my amount of charcoal should be going up, which is nice.
Start feeding trees into the furnace.
Started farming birch.
Oh, birch.
I don't particularly like the look of birch. So
What do you got against birch?
Birch is beautiful.
too bright. And because birch appears in the same biome as oak, I'm using oak
You heathen.
in my...
Heathen.
I knew you would latch onto that.
Chevy, the other day you were telling me that I shouldn't have birch doors, so you can't speak.
Oh, birch doors are terrible.
What's wrong with
I have
birch
them on
doors?
the bar.
Why don't you change your birch doors then?
What's wrong with birch doors?
Because I'm a hypocrite.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'll stop being so hypocritical then.
Nope.
No can do.
Oh, fuck you.
I guess.
The correct response is yeah, usually.
Do I have to roll over?
TMI, TMI.
I don't know.
Dun, 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 dun. That's
Hey, it's
I'm
your
not.
hey, it's your funeral.
Well, it depends. If she uses a cactus, it might be your funeral.
Ouch, my digits.
Ouch, my duodenum. Hurry up and empty that landfill so I can move it. I'll build a fucking proper highway through here.
Yes, digital. I'll infect you with the cactus in a minute.
No, that's not what I said. Nor is that what I asked for. I asked for the landfill to empty.
No, I'm going to fuck you with the cactus.
You're a cactus.
Yeah, you never know, I might be.
Building must be placed roadside. I'm trying to place it roadside. It wouldn't be that way. Stupid fucking park. Stay where you are.
But what about me? I already turned over.
Yeah, you went through all that effort. That didn't sound like it went in.
It did.
Congratulations.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. Kind of hard to not get it to go in because it's an empty recycling bin.
Oh, that's why it rattled around so much.
Yes.
Oh, that's why it sounded like it skipped across the floor. Okay.
Yeah, it was literally bouncing around the bin. Alright. Nothing's down to 13%. This thing is stuffed to the fucking max. Alright. This is going to be industrial. I'm going to put commercial on the water here.
My parents are also very hypocritical. So they don't let me have smoothies. Well, they don't like me having smoothies.
They don't like you having smoothies? Why? They're made out of fruit.
Because they're high in sugar.
So have a carrot smoothie.
I don't want a carrot smoothie.
Oh, so when it comes to carrot smoothies, suddenly you're too good for them.
Turnip smoothie.
Have a nice, cool, refreshing glass of turnip juice.
Ew.
It's just as I thought.
I'll take that turnip juice and pour it all over you, digital.
Are you going to lick it off
Oh,
afterwards?
which one of us?
Digital.
First one, then the other, and then a little slime. Rather a saucy bit, I will.
So I can make all the comments I want, and you're gonna pour all the juice over digital. I like this.
No.
Seems like a bit of a double standard.
If you start making too many comments, Chabby, then you're going to get it over you too.
What about duck sauce? Does he get the duck sauce then?
Who's sauteing me? They're going to get pecked to death.
You'd like that.
Oh wow, my mind went somewhere else when you said duck sauce.
Jesus. Do we need to draw you a diagram, Aroha?
Maybe.
You got awfully quiet there, so I figured you might be confused.
Just a tad, maybe. Not that I'm actually admitting it.
Point on the doll where it hurts.
Inappropriate, yo.
Why do you guys always do this to me?
My poor brain.
You guys have just woken up
Show me on the brain where it hurts.
all around. Frontal lobe and the pons and the cerebellum.
Oh my goodness, yes. Use the words. Use all the words. Alright. So, I can probably migrate this industry out of here.
Question: when making charcoal, is it 1-for-1 wood for charcoal?
1 for 1.
Yeah.
Each log will get you 1 charcoal, always. Always and forever until Thursday.
What happens on Thursdays?
That's your day in the barrel.
Yeah, don't ask.
You knew exactly where it was going.
You two have known each other for way too long.
8 years is way too long. Bad news for your parents. You've known them even longer.
I hate that I've known them for so long.
Hate to burst your bubbles. More than 8 years.
Is it now?
Oh yeah, we're hitting close to 10.
Well, okay. I knew you when you were still in your apartment. But I don't think you were there for, like, more than a year before.
6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like a year would be long. Okay, so...
I moved in here in 2011.
Okay, so it was like mid-2010. So, yeah, pretty much 10 years.
I hate to say it, guys, but I think it's almost bedtime for the duck.
Duck, 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 duck. Duck, duck.
Quitter.
She is. She's such a quitter.
Hey, next week I can stay up as late as I want, and no one can tell me otherwise.
Except us. We get to tell you all sorts of things.
You mean I'll finally
Oh,
lose
it's going to be
weight?
so much fun.
Sorry, what was that, Aroha?
You mean I'll finally lose weight and I couldn't do it a second time?
The fact that you did it the first time was kind of impressive, though. Those 3 in the bed and the little one said, Rover. If you just use the right voice, anything can be dirty.
Oh crap! Sorry, I'm hitting my mic.
Do you need a freestanding mic so that you're not bopping your head on it?
Hey, that's my stick.
I was bopping my hand on it, but yes.
What is the green jelly reference? Hey, piggy, piggy.
Hey, little pig, let me in. Not my hair or my chinny chin chin. You mean that one?
There we go.
You're welcome.
Damn it.
Darn it all to heck and gosh. Morning, Wolf. I have a feeling you just wandered in at the wrong end of that.
The fact that you, me, Wolf, and Zook know the name of the band.
Well, why wouldn't we? They're an awesome band.
I think you're using awesome very loosely.
Are you kidding? Harley Davidson is the only company mentioned in any of their songs that didn't fucking sue them. Like, how awesome is that?
Fair enough.
Any band that can be sued repeatedly by every company that they mention I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's a little bit of trying. Yeah.
Gotta respect people that are that able and willing to, alienate every possible commercial endorsement that ever existed. Fine, we'll put the firehouse over there. There we go. Let the pollution on this side clear out.
That's right, I got my payslip. How much money am I getting?
Not bloody enough.
Never.
I guess that's all filling in.
$446.77.
And one goat. Don't forget the goat.
Oh. Okay.
Always with the goat.
And $14 off my student loan.
$14 down, 18,723 to go.
No, it's more like 28,000 to go.
I was so close. Alright, let's move
But
this.
remember what your mom told you.
What?
Clean my room and I'll get it paid off. Yes, I know.
What? If you clean your room, they'll pay it?
Yeah.
Clean your fucking room!
Thank you. Really not that hard.
If I was gonna get paid $28,000 for cleaning my room, you'd be able to fucking eat off that carpet.
Well, thank goodness I
He'd
have
be
no
welcoming
carpet.
the neighbors to eat off it.
That carpet would be so goddamn clean the Pope would eat off of it.
Thank goodness I've got no carpet on my room then.
What, you got something against eating off the carpet? Oh, phrasing.
No, I don't.
But don't go there.
However,
She's not gonna get it.
Yeah, order new carpet, exactly.
I want carpet on my floor.
Well,
Alright,
maybe
for the stream I tried.
Yeah, maybe if you clean your room, your parents will throw in some free fucking carpet.
No, they won't.
Well, they're throwing in 28 grand. Just fucking clean your room, Jesus.
When we moved into this house, my parents stripped the carpet off the floor of my room.
Why?
Because I don't know how much I've got the allergies still, but at the time I was slightly allergic to house dust mites. So they made it easier to keep it clean and allergy free. It's the same reason we don't have cats. Well, one of the reasons. The other one is that Mum hates things.
Well, I can understand that. They probably hate her right back. Because, they're cats. They're like that.
Cats can be hard to deal with.
The reason she hates cats is because they kill wildlife.
Yes, that's what happens with predators. Also, dogs do that. So if she doesn't likewise hate dogs, she's yet again a bloody hypocrite.
She doesn't.
Of course not.
So what you should do is once a week go buy a rabbit and put it on the doorstep.
And leave a sign that says, "From your friendly neighborhood stray dog."
As in a dead rabbit, you mean?
Oh yeah, you'd have to kill it.
I'm not killing no rabbits. I'm not a rabbit killer.
Wuss. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, Aroha. Come on. And you can't make a mob without breaking legs. No, wait, that's not how it goes.
We're trying to help you here.
I get that, but I refuse to kill animals. Like, if
Okay, fine. Could
What
you?
if I told you
Okay,
it wasn't innocent? What if I told you it was guilty?
could you just bite off one ear? Would that do?
no, I couldn't.
just chew the ear on, just chew the ear on a few corners. It'll be fine.
No, I couldn't.
Just make some teeth marks.
You'd be doing the country a favor if you killed a rabbit. I mean, they're a bloody plague down there.
I know, but I still couldn't.
I tried, Mickey. I tried. Apparently, she hates New Zealand more than she hates rabbits.
I'll happily kill them as roadkill. I'll use my car as a weapon.
No, we need to see the blood trickle from your mouth as you spit out a piece of ear. That's the only way.
No,
That works.
I can't. I can't.
Could you imagine that toothy grin with the blood on their teeth?
I'm not gonna lie. I've already imagined it on more than one occasion.
Ruthless
Gets me a little turned on.
nails.
You know, like I wasn't gonna be the first to say it because I didn't want to be weird. Meow.
Oh my goodness. Here are these males I hang out with.
We're just your friendly neighborhood murder hobos.
Fucking hell.
Yep. What about it?
Remind me why I hang out with you guys.
Because we're in the end we're on your side. Eventually, at some point.
I failed to see that.
Usually, from time to time.
I failed to see that.
Well, then get a better prescription. I don't know what to tell you.
I am starting to wonder whether I need to go to the optometrist again.
Rabbits are vicious, mean little bastards with sharp, pointy teeth. Is that what you were going for, Mick?
Digital, the more I get to know you, the more you scare me. I'm not going to lie.
Yay. Exactly. Best to grenade them.
Don't give him that satisfaction. When you leave, I still have to put up with him.
Oh, that's your choice. You can leave too when I leave.
No, 3. Oh, that's a playground. Let's move that over there. And then I can bulldoze these houses. And this can connect to... just connect it. There we go. Yeah, the whole rabbit shtick was pretty good. 1,
See,
2, 5. 3. Yeah, right. 3.
I don't even know what movie you're talking about, so...
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Some garbage comedy.
Oh, shut your face. I'll hold you down and fart in your mouth.
Well, if I was saying it.
Oh, you don't get a vote.
You do that to my chippy and I'll pick you to death.
I always knew you were a peckerhead.
I've never denied it.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. She's a peckerhead.
When I met you guys, we're obviously going to all you What?
Part of that didn't come through.
Wow.
Most of it.
When we finally meet, you guys are going to make down and watch movies, aren't you?
Whether you want to or not. We're going to
Sleep,
expose
here
you
I
to
come.
this thing called culture.
Sleep, here I come.
You're going to get culture, whether it's from yogurt or movies. And you'll like it. You'll like it a lot. I think we lost her. go. We'll move some people up there, and then I can get rid of some of this down here.
On a completely different topic, I was thinking.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
I know, that's worry, isn't it?
That's a worry.
I was thinking that I might record my Minecraft gameplay and put together montages of me flopping off things.
You cartooning?
Yes.
Say it again.
Me flopping off things.
That's okay. That was just as good the second time. Just picturing her going, wow!
That was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty enjoyable. Yeah.
You flopping off things.
So you think I should do it?
Yeah, probably. I'm just picturing you walking up to the
Oh, yeah.
edge of things and then having like a palsy moment where you just go and flail your way up the side. When you see me flopping off things, that's what I picture. The second time I had to close.
Digital.
Second time I had to close my eyes so I could get the full vision. It was glorious. I'm not making fun of people with palsy. I'm just picturing you walking up all normal. You're looking down into this chasm or whatever, and then suddenly you just go.
No.
Completely lose it.
Standing at the edge of something with a piece of fucking sand in her hand, and then she just decides to cartoon off of it as opposed to using the sand.
Why a piece of sand in her hand? Is this a specific memory you're
Yes.
drawing upon?
This is how I taught her how to get down in caves.
So it's your fault she cartoons off of things.
No, she did it herself.
See, before Chibby taught me in quotes how to do this, I'd already learned how to do things, and it was just jump off the edge. So
Standing there at the edge of a mine shaft, and she's literally standing there, and I'm watching her, and she jumps over the pile of sand and just falls. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Take the sand.
I don't think that was. I think some of that was completely unintentional. It just sort of.
You think some was unintentional?
Yeah. Like I knew it was there, just aiming to go stand on the sand and pick it up, and it. Just,
Sorry, let me help you out. It wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
She only thinks that some may have been unintentional.
Well, like, what am I doing here? Like, who am I helping? Like, you're just gonna drop off the edge of things? Like,
Not all of what I do is intentional, Shabby. I thought we had already figured this out.
Well, I sure hope not all of it's intentional, because there's sure a lot of it that goes badly.
no, of course not. But I can still make a joke out of it as I watched you do it.
Fuck you, Chibby.
Do you want me to name a street after that?
Yes.
Sand in Hand Lane.
No!
Oh, great.
And do you see the zigzaggy pattern that it follows here, Chad?
No, give me a second.
Everything you do is exactly what you told the computer to do. It can only follow your directions. This is true, technically.
Not helping Wolf. Not
Okay,
helping.
yeah, I see it now. Yep.
And it goes from here, over and down and over and down and over.
Great representation.
I thought that was the perfect one to name that. Alright, you guys are gonna get power straight from here. Because as I tear this neighborhood up and rebuild it, you're gonna lose power repeatedly.
Not that I want ever, to say that I'll take credit for anything, but the word in regards to her cartooning off of things is definitely a thing. So
Yeah, her cartooning off of things.
Lies.
Her cartooning
Lies
off of
and-
things was definitely a phrase you spearheaded.
These are all lies.
Oh, was that your own idea? Did you invent
No!
the cartooning off of things? Okay, then it was Chevy.
But I don't cartoon. I'm not a cartoon.
Oh, I disagree.
oh, you're completely a cartoon character in yourself.
Me? How rude.
Have you never seen a show where humans turn into animals? Those are anime. Bubblegum Crisis? No? I mean, that's anime
No.
right there. That's a cartoon.
Never seen it.
Oh, well, you probably should, because it's people turning into animals.
I never said I turned into an animal.
She's watched entirely too much to answer the question.
I've watched... No, I'm not going to admit that. Aroha, stop. Right there. Shut up.
Hey, you're the one who says you're a duck.
Aroha's spirit animal is actually Stephanie off that show.
How
You sure
rude.
it's not DJ?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got no crush on Joey at all.
Lies.
And ugh.
And ugh.
I got no crush on him at all.
I couldn't
I
stand
agree
him.
with... Technically, he wasn't an uncle either.
No, he was just a creepy guy that lived in their basement.
Yeah.
He was just that creepy uncle with the puzzle basement. There we go. Now I can make...
My Fitbit has told me it's time for bed. My iPod's about to tell me it's time for bed.
Your Fitbit's a fat lying bastard.
I thought that was you.
I'm a mildly overweight lying bastard.
I'm the fat one.
Yeah, come on.
So you're the fat lying bastard?
Sure, if it helps for context.
He's some kind of bastard.
Who would have a crush on Uncle Joey?
I don't know.
Thanks, Wolf.
Like, Uncle Jesse, I could see, because a lot of people were
Yeah.
like, oh, John Stamos, he's a dreamboat. But Uncle Joey was such a putz. He was like...
Annoying.
He was like the worst of the three adult characters. Oh, you meant Uncle Jesse, okay. Yeah, Uncle Joey was like as corny as... What was the dad's name? Dan? Dan Tanner?
Danny, yeah.
Yeah. He was as corny as Danny without being as humorous somehow, despite supposedly being the funny one.
Come on, Digital, you watched all of the
I had
best, didn't you?
no fucking option. It was on in between two shows I wanted to see, so it was like, alright, I guess I'm stuck watching this piece of shit. Nothing
My
else to
sister
watch
made
anyway.
me.
There was nothing else to watch at that time slot anyway, which really was sad because I only had 4 channels anyway.
No.
We had Farmer Vision back when I was a kid.
I only had 3 channels for forever.
Okay, so I can bring that in, and then back out. Like that. There we go. We have quays.
You and your quays.
I'm
I'll
quaying it
quay
up.
you. I'll quay you up one day.
I'm quay. I'm quay for the quays.
What's wrong
Something
with
like
you?
that.
Let's put you over there. And you can go next. And
I mean,
piping.
what's wrong with digital? Do we really have to ask?
Who has that kind of time? Come on.
Kind of a loaded question.
Well, loaded question or not, like, who has that kind of fucking time? Let's put the quay back in. There we go, and then we'll build the power lines across. Hooray, no interruption to power or water services this time.
Well, I think it's time for me to conk out.
Be a liar, duck. Go ahead, see if we care. Liar, duck.
I'm not a liar, duck. You're a liar, cow.
A bull, thank you. You've seen the horn.
No, I haven't seen the horn.
Yeah, say that without smiling.
Ugh.
I'll believe you.
Everyone's seen the horn.
I haven't seen the horn. I'm glad I haven't seen the horn.
Well, that's a lie right there.
No one believes
Yeah.
you.
Leftover
You
asparagus.
go nuke the asparagus.
First off,
I'm glad I'm not anywhere near you.
why do you have leftover asparagus? Secondly, why are you eating it out of choice?
Because he barbecued it, and when it's barbecued, it's actually fantastic.
Ugh. Asparagus. File that under. Ugh.
Yes.
Asparagus. Asparagus, that's what it is. Take that, asparagus. Okay, we'll get rid of some of these. To encourage.
Okay, I think I'm losing my mind here.
You think? Why is that?
Looking for a Seether tune, and I can't find it.
What's it called?
Didn't they have one called No Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, okay, it's not me. It's just not here.
I'm pulling up my list right now to. It's called No Jesus Christ.
Right, and the album?
Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces, track 7.
I don't have the older stuff. That's what it... Okay. It's funny that you say that, too, because I knew it was... that was the title of the album.
That's the one that starts out, before you hedge those bets you've placed against me. Yeah, before you hedge those bets you placed against me. Be reticent of fortunes they foretell. Yeah.
Best way to start a concert.
Such a good tune. That guitar work at the beginning is beautiful.
Were you there for that one when they started it off?
Was that the one where they were with Nails at the new stadium? I don't think that's how they started that one.
Nope, that was Audio Slave.
Or yeah, they were with Audio Slave. Sorry.